Over the last month, many people have said many strong words to us. They say that adults don't cry. However, what does one do when you lose your hero? To say that we are devastated would be the greatest understatement ever. We have lost our hero, and we are sad. This hero can never be brought back by any means, and given his mark on our lives, it makes it hard. Yet, we hold our heads up high because we know the man who is and always shall be our hero. We know the principles he stood for and the way he raised us. Throughout our childhood, I in particular was fascinated by superheroes. It took me a while to realize that I had my own personal superhero. Our hero was a different type of hero in the various phases of our lives. He was not your traditional superhero who flew in, saved the day, and flew out again. He was a constant figure, a consistent, principled individual who let his actions speak to us about what was right and what was wrong. Over our lifetimes, our hero has been both supporting and challenging. He brought us up in the way that him and our mother thought was best: principled, independent, self-critical, meticulous to a fault, and analytical about all we do. In primary school, when I came fourth at the end of the year, our hero first said, "Well done." Then he asked me, "I've been to number first." Whenever we complained about some work being hard, and he did this to so many people who have said this, our hero reminded us that hard work never killed anybody. Yet when we truly required someone to be a rock of support for us, our hero was there. He gave us immense responsibilities early on in life, such that we would learn several important lessons at relatively young ages. He taught us to be fair in all we did and to be kind to all we met. This hero was different from the start. The other thing we soon learned growing up, that was our hero wasn't necessarily exclusive to us. Several people spoke to us about heroic efforts he had made for them. From the various people he taught to the numerous people he helped whilst he was in the Ministry of Finance, to those he met later in life and clearly left a mark on. In the last few weeks, we have heard many stories that range from the incredibly absurd to the hilarious. We have learned how our hero facilitated things such that GBC was able to broadcast Italia 90 so we could all watch the World Cup. We have heard how our hero was instrumental in the financing of the cardio center in Kolebu. We have heard about currency swaps he organized. We have heard about his helpful work with MIDA, how he facilitated ammunition for soldiers in need, how he always spent within his yearly budget every office he was in. Several bank chairpersons have come to us and they have told us how influential he was in their setup. We have learned even about when a friend needed him, he did some spy work for the friend. Above all, we have heard numerous stories about his incorruptible nature and how he did so much for so many individuals and businesses without asking for a pesewa. The mark of our hero, the man, was that he hardly ever talked about some of these achievements to us, his family. His nature meant that he never boasted about these achievements. Like a true superhero, he was disguised to even those of us who knew him best. Our hero was a hero to all, and he was hidden in plain sight of all of us. We know our hero has gone to a better place. However, it does not take away from the fact that we have lost our hero. Though we have lost our hero, his legacy remains in those of us whom he raised and trained to be principled, to be meticulous, to be diligent, and to be independent-minded in all we do. Today, I stand here and boast proudly about my father, my firewall, my superhero, who is better than all those I used to adore as a child. All those who have had significant interaction with our hero understand that today we pay tribute to one of the greatest heroes of them all, the greatest daddy ever. Rest in peace, Daddy. Rest in peace.
To our hero. My world stopped on the morning of 29th June 2018. I was not prepared to lose you, but I know God is real. How could he not be when he gave you to me? And how can I not understand that he has called you to a better place? So I give thanks because I'm honored to have known you. You were a man of principles and exceptionally high standards. You stood for honor, integrity, humility, service to others, and compassion. Your actions spoke to us daily about right and wrong. You were an exceptional father. There was a duality to you that worked perfectly for us. You pushed us to do better and delivered harsh truths in your pragmatic way. You were also very supportive and nurturing. In my lowest moments, when I beat myself up for falling short of the standards I had set for myself, you were the epitome of care and concern. You provided everything, from pep talks to boost morale, to a listening ear, to ice cream or chocolate, to advice and guidance. Above all else, you were relatable. No topic was off limits. In conversation, you shared with us your childhood, your successes, and your shortcomings. You often found the trappings of power bothersome, as they interfered with your ability to run errands with your grandchildren unnoticed. You weren't one for standing on ceremony and preferred to relax formalities whenever possible. You were a planner, and you encouraged us all to plan with you well into the future. In a way, this makes the days ahead harder to bear, because we had many goals set and many tasks yet to accomplish. We will execute as many of these as we can. While I will miss these defining traits, more than anything else, I will miss the everyday things that were so characteristic of you. I will miss answering your brief and to-the-point phone calls and hearing the words, "Ache, quick one," and your unannounced trips to our home on Saturday mornings because you had missed your grandson, Kwamena, even when you had spent the afternoon with him the day before. I will also miss watching the closeness and tenderness that you and Ma shared and poking fun at how conjoined you were. In keeping with your practice of brevity, I'll end here with the words of St. Paul, which you used so many times. May God our Father give you peace and grace. Nyame mfa okransi.